Think about this being a 1-inch circumference ball. 1-inch circumference is a very tiny circle, but we're just going to think about this being a 1-inch circumference ball. Now, when this is 1-inch circumference through the middle, whenever you come down to 60 degrees, the circumference of the ball is now 0.866025438, which is the square root of 0.75. Whenever you come down to the 45-degree position, the circumference of the ball is now 0.707.106.7812. That's the square root of 0.5. Then whenever you come down to 30 degrees, the circumference of the ball is 0.5, which is your half circumference, but that's also the square root of 0.25. These are all perfect squares. They make perfect squares. Now, watch what happens whenever you multiply this ball by pi. These measurements, these circumferences, literally, if you could unconnect them and roll them out, it becomes the 1-inch diameter circle. So now the measurements that was once the circumference, if you could unroll them, it now becomes the 1-inch diameter circle, and all the measurements that were once circumferences are now heights inside of the circle themselves. So it went from a 1-inch circumference to a 1-inch diameter. It went from a 0.8660254 inch circumference at 60 degrees to now that's the height inside the circle. And the same thing for 45 degrees. What was once the circumference is now the height at 45 degrees. Same thing for 30. What was once the circumference is now the height inside the circle at 30 degrees. And all these values create perfect squares. So in the value times pi, it goes from circumference to diameter. But then whenever you study their pi and the circumferences these values make, their pi does not create a perfect square. Our God created a perfect squared circle, a perfect balanced circle. This is the truth. This is the square of the circumferences for the 1-inch diameter circle. So 1 creates pi, a circumference of pi, and pi squared is 9.72. This height squared is 0.75. So the circumference squared will be 75% of this number. And this is 7.29, which is 75% of that. This is 0.5 when you square.